Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages and persuasions, welcome to Woolly Bully Bill's Rock and Roll Power Hour.
It's 2 hours.
That's right, it's 2 hours of absolute chaotic mayhem. We have a very special guest tonight on our show. We're going to be draining his balls from 8 to 10. Oh, did I say balls? I meant brains. Because this man has both in spades. Both in spasms. Tonight we have with us the Art Gray NOIZZ Quintet. And I say it slowly because that's how I want to suck them down. With my ears. Because they're so lovely. Okay, so Art Gray NOIZZ Quintet is on tour right now. Who all of the band is here? Speak up.
We got Bloody Rich Hutchins.
Hey, fuck you.
We got Ryan Skeleton Boy.
How's it going?
And there are a couple of other members sitting out in the other room. Oh, there she is. Didn't even see you. They're all here. We got some ladies in the band now. Well, we have Nikki D'Agostino, heir to the D'Agostino supermarket fortune, who provides the band with fresh tomatoes and soup and all sorts of stuff. And then we've got Grace Bergere, who is a recent addition.
Wow, Grace Bergere. That sounds exotic.
Yeah.
It's got an E on the end, so it's
wow.
special.
Is that French?
Yes, it is.
I mean the Grace part.
Less French than the Grace.
No, Grace is not French. The French are not known for their grace.
Yeah.
Bergere, that's like the Folie Bergeres, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen her dance yet, but
There's all kinds of strange noises happening in the studio.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got different kinds of drummers. You got your sporty drummers that, like put on athletic socks and they bind themselves up and they're like this. And then you've got your wacky drummers. Unfortunately, we've got one of them.
I'm a bouncy drummer.
He's got a lot of tattoos, yeah. And some people have love and hate tattooed on their knuckles. He's supposed to have I love hats tattooed on his knuckles.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's pretty cool. But is he wearing a hat right now? I can't tell.
And you know why? Because he loves. All right, sorry. You tell him.
Protection from the sun.
Yeah.
So listen, we have 2 hours. What do you want to talk about? Stu Spasm.
Yeah.
Where did you get the name Spasm?
I made it up, and then I do kind of twitch a bit as it happens, but I just thought it was a cool name originally.
That's cool. Keep going.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
So art is the other side, the other part of stew. I never really liked stew, and then art is a much cooler name.
Right.
So
we never really liked Stu either.
Yeah, I've been Stu Spasm. Now I'm Art Gray.
Sorry, my eye is like dying over here.
Right.
Don't cry.
Dead eye.
I'm crying. I'm getting verklempt.
Dead Eye Bill.
One of them is going.
Right.
So now with my glasses off, I have Lubricated Goat, Crunt,
Yeah.
Art Gray NOIZZ Quintet.
Yeah.
So there was some kind of evolution or de-evolution to this point.
Love story.
Well, I used the name Lubricated Goat for years because it was kind of an established name. And then at a certain point, I thought, this has gone on long enough. And I needed a new name. And this guy made this movie about Amphetamine Reptile, the label that we had been on.
Yeah.
And there weren't really any AmRep New York bands living there. And so he asked us to play at the after party for the release of the movie. So I put this band together because I said, well, Lubricated Goat's not going anymore. So because the movie was called The Color of Noise, I put together the Art Gray NOIZZ Quintet as kind of a one-off to play at the after party for the movie. And then people liked it so much, they said we should keep doing it.
That's cool.
And so that's what we've been doing since then.
So I missed the first gig because I was in rehab.
Oh, no, we don't want to get into that.
That'll do. Is it you were addicted to hats?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard this. You chopped up the hat and it went right up your nose.
My name is Richard, and I love hats.
Yeah.
Hi, Richard. So, anyways, you guys are touring with a brand new album.
Well, it's been out for a while now, but it's new to anyone that doesn't have it. So.
Well, I don't know if you know this story, Stu, but I think I was down in some bar in Coney Island with Skeleton Boy.
Yeah.
It's got to be at least 10 years ago. And he tells me, "Oh yeah, my band, like, we're totally got a couple of tracks down. We're recording an album." That was 10 fucking years ago. What took so long to get
I
this
really don't
album
think
out?
it's been going that long.
Yeah, well,
It's only 8. God.
Oh, right. I meant a decade. Sorry.
Okay.
Right, but
I
you know,
meant a decade.
but it's like, you know, we've been going for that long, and you know, the Beatles did like
So you're saying
2 or 3
perfection.
albums a year.
You just wanted perfection.
I want to just put out more records.
To make
I mean-
something this good takes time. It's like wine.
Yeah, I mean, time has kind of telescoped in this weird way, so that 10 years is not such a long time, you know.
Well, why don't we listen to it cut off the album?
All right. Black Zombie?
I'm sorry, we were talking
You
about...
heard of White Zombie? This is Black Zombie.
Yeah. So during this break, while we were where we were listening to the album, we were talking about secondary possible names for Art Gray NOIZZ Quintet. One of these ideas we're bandying about, Black Zombie.
Fair enough.
Well,
I mean, I
We were busy sniffing hats while the song was playing.
Remember
I don't
that
even
kids?
know
Come
where
on.
I'm at right now.
Admit it.
I mean, yeah, Art Gray NOIZZ Quintet sounds a bit sophisto. I did have other names for the
Unless you know
band,
us.
like the Jenkum 5.
Okay,
Have you heard of Jenkum?
tell me about it.
Apparently it's a drug that they take in Africa. It's like made out of excrement. And
I'm in.
they sniff it,
Oh, who's they?
the people that take it.
Okay, that was a good answer.
The
So-
Jenkum 5.
Well, we don't want to gentrify this radio station.
Well played.
So you have toured California before? No,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Recently, right? Last year? or
Well,
something?
last year, and then before COVID, but COVID spoiled all the momentum.
Mhm.
The first time I ever toured California was in '89.
Okay,
and
so
we
recently.
We played with the Mentors.
Oh,
You know the Mentors?
wow, yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
At the
Yes.
Covered Wagon, it was called. It was a week after the earthquake, so
Yeah.
I was getting zapped off the mics.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I think after that statement, we can just hang up the mics and go home.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell you if. So have you haven't stayed in Humboldt before, though?
no.
Well, I wanted to give you a gift, actually.
Yeah.
It's very emblematic of Humboldt County.
Marijuana.
Well, listen. It would be marijuana,
Yeah.
but it's something better. Do you still smoke cigarettes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen. It's not cigarettes, but it's something better. And it's not marijuana, but it's something better.
Really.
Yeah, it's chew directly from Humboldt. It's called Humboldt's Best Brand Cowboy Cut Beef Jerky, and it's like chew, but it's beef jerky. And this is for you.
So is it more like beef jerky or chewing tobacco?
Yeah,
So basically, you can spit out the most disgusting wads of phlegm imaginable.
but why would you?
Just to
if
get
you
all
could
over
s-
his shoes, or
Yeah, if you could swallow it.
As long as it's not on my hat.
just so we
Yeah.
don't get our deposit back on the van, or
Great,
Yeah,
you got
something
dinner.
like
He's got
that.
dinner now.
You have
Yeah.
dinner in your hand.
right? Well, I'm really touched by your gift. And,
Absolutely.
I'd like to share it with the other members of the band.
You know, we could
The band that spits together stays together.
we could put it down. I think we have a mirror somewhere in here we can put down and chop it up like a hat.
All right.
So what else do my notes say about you? So this is your first time in Humboldt.
Yeah.
How is it so far?
Well, the drive down was pretty frightening, but then we saw some areas where you could see the beach. And at first, our friend Brian that was driving, we're like, stop here, because although I've been to California lots of times, I'd never actually swum in the ocean.
Wait, you got in the ocean?
We got in there almost up to my knees.
Oh.
He
I
got
jumped
all the
in.
way
I
in.
jumped in.
How
Yeah.
was it cold?
Fucking cold.
It's fucking cold.
yeah.
Yeah, and Ryan got seawater inside his nice new boots.
Yeah, I swear I got shrinkage. I swear.
Did you?
But wasn't it worth it?
Yes.
I mean, you can say you did it.
Salt
Yeah.
water on me. Haven't had it for a while.
Yeah, so he wouldn't stop at the first one, and we're really disappointed because the topography kept changing.
Yeah, it
so
turned
you-
out there's more ocean.
it's like
Yeah.
I was like, I wish these fucking mountains weren't in the way. We could go to the beach.
Yeah, and
And
they
then
have
we-
like.
And then we
300
found a way to get to the water, and we jumped out, and we all went in and frolicked.
So that's why you guys
The
showed
surf.
up so late.
Were we late?
Yeah, we were out frolicking to all hours of the.
Oh my God. I've met you before. I've seen your magical mystery tour of a house. How's your house?
Awesome. I'm not there right now, unfortunately, but
Where are you at right now?
Bushwick.
And what
Brooklyn.
and
What
what
do you mean
color
you're not
and what colors can you see?
I can see clearly now. The rain has.
Okay, well, so that's to test your eyes on the sign behind me. He's
Okay.
just if for the audiences that can't see
Mauve.
and are actually
Um,
listening.
It's pronounced
Red
mauve.
wine. Mauve.
This whole
Magenta,
room
something like that. Magenta.
is full of
Magenta.
visual tests.
Yeah.
And we just came here to trick you guys into getting glasses, all of you.
Too late.
Do we all need glasses?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, especially the guy driving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So recently, my wife and I went down to San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you that.
Okay.
And we went to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Pink Flamingos, with John
Oh, wow.
Waters.
Yeah.
John Waters and Mink Stoll were there, and they were talking through the whole movie, and it was like insane. And I recently found out that you also, that's my connection to John Waters. It's nothing. I was just there. But can you talk about, I understand you were on the set of Crybaby. Were you in that movie?
Very briefly, yeah.
Yeah. And Divine came to Australia in the 80s.
Yeah, that was a different thing, but yeah.
Can you tell those stories?
Yeah. I used to have pictures of it. I mean, our drug dealer, who was very, because he made a lot of money selling drugs, he was very, giving with his money. So he would like treat his friends. And one time he treated us all to go and see Divine doing her act at this club. And there was these tables sitting perpendicular to the stage. And I was sitting closest to the stage. And so they had like a 3-course meal before Divine came on. The first bit was a snapper flavored mousse. The second bit was a chicken basket. And the third part was a chocolate mousse. So when Divine came out, I decided to create a John Waters type atmosphere. So I was getting my spoon and flicking chocolate mousse at Divine. And Divine came up to the side of the stage and kind of like squatted down like this and stuck her head up my dress. I mean, stuck my head up her dress. And then, and then she went back and started dancing again. And then she wanted some volunteers to come up and dance. And my friends were going, you go up, you go up. So I went to go up and dance. And Divine grabbed me like this and went, not the potato masher. Because she thought that was potato I was flicking at her. And then she goes, I forgive you. And then I went up and I danced on stage with Divine. And that was a big thrill, you know.
This was in Australia.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then a few years later, when I first came over here on tour, my friends in LA were extras in Crybaby. Because they filmed Crybaby in Baltimore, but they showed it to test audiences and they weren't happy with it. So they did some pickup shots, which were at a ranch owned by Disney. And consequently, they had to get everybody that was in the movie to all be on the set at the same time. So basically, they had like Patty Hearst, Joe D'Alessandro, Iggy Pop, Johnny Depp, Divine, Ricky Lake, Hatchet Face, Tracy Lords. Just all these people, like all in this cluster is like the most amazing fucking people. And then to top it off, there's John Waters sitting in a chair, like directing it. And the other guys in my band could have been in it, but they weren't prepared to get their hair cut. But I let them cut my hair so that they had what they called the drapes and the squares.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a drape. So they cut my hair, and then I was getting my hair cut, and in the line in front of me was Johnny Depp and Iggy Pop, But Johnny Depp was just the kid from 21 Jump Street at the time. But Iggy Pop, I was dying to say, my band's playing tomorrow night, you're going to come and see my band. But I couldn't, I was just too shy or whatever. Yeah. And then I was in the scene where there's the chicken race between Johnny Depp and Iggy Pop holding onto the cars. And then Johnny Depp wins and he's standing on top of the car, and we all had to run up to the car and go, yeah, like this,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you said you're from, I thought that was a Long Island accent.
No.
Australia.
I've been in New York for a long time, but
okay.
I was actually born in England.
Okay.
and grew up in Australia.
And so when did you start making music? How old were you?
When I actually started doing gigs, I was like 16, but
Okay.
that was in like 1978. But I mean, started playing before that, you know.
Yeah. Well, let's listen to a track off the very brand new album. Though, when did this come out?
2 years ago, right?
2 years
1
ago.
year.
A year and a half. But we just re-released basically limited edition red vinyl now. Because the first pressing was sold out like almost immediately.
Okay, got you. You have a couple of copies in the van?
If it's not stolen, yeah.
Don't say that. There's some real wood in here
Yeah, we're gonna
somewhere.
get you a copy.
ladies and gentlemen. We have been talking to Art Gray NOIZZ Quintet here on Woolly Bully Bill's Rock and Roll Power Hour. We haven't really heard too much from Skeleton Boy.
It's quite all right.
And apparently he's quite all right, which is great because he looks all right.
Thank you.
Skeleton Boy, what is your beauty secret? What is the secret to your beauty? This is what all the teen magazines.
Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde. It keeps everything upright. That's what a lady says. Stiff and firm. So speaking of stiff and firm, you guys have seen each other naked, right?
No, I've never seen him naked.
No, everybody's seen him naked. Though.
Not in the flesh.
Oh. Go on.
What's that?
Go on. In what context have they seen you nude?
Well, because my band played naked on TV in Australia.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that recently?
No, that was in 1988.
So recently?
Yeah. Before the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. Oh, they opened?
No. But they weren't even really naked. They had socks on.
Yeah.
But some people dispute the fact that we were naked because we had boots on and hats.
That is technically true.
Yeah.
So, Skeleton Boy, have you noticed he's a man of few words?
He gets a little bit verbose when he wants to.
Yeah.
The things that he does say are very clever, you know.
Well, Skeleton Boy and I have spent many nights drinking and proselytizing to each other at bars all up and down in the city.
What he does say is pretty wise, you know. He does kind of steer the direction of the band.
Oprah calls that basic wisdom.
Yeah.
But Stu, you and I have had deep-ish conversations, but I think we've only really gotten down when I was really wasted.
Yeah.
So I don't remember anything that we talked about. Do you remember anything?
Well,
that we talked about?
you know, when you're drunk, your true feelings come out, or you know what you really want to say deep inside.
Yeah. So what did I say?
Just a load of crap.
What is Stu? This is also in the teeny bopper magazines.
Yeah.
Out of Australia, actually, they keep asking. Well, first of all, they ask about Skeleton Boy and why he plays two strings, and we don't really want to know. This is a secret between him and God, and Saint Maria. But the other question that they ask is, what is your favorite experience with psychedelics?
Psychedelics?
Oh, here we go.
I mean, I don't have many favorites. I have unfavorites.
Uh-huh.
Like, I have horror stories, which everyone's heard, you know.
Oh, I haven't heard it.
Just taking way too many. I mean, you've heard of microdosing. Have you heard of multi way the fuck too much?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's what happened, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess it's surprisingly common for people to take off their clothes and run around, you know.
Are you a lightweight when it comes to...
No, I mean, I defy anybody to be able to take the amount that I used to take and still be sane. But,
well, what was your DRUG of choice?
well, I mean, when I was doing psychedelics was.
Yeah.
But, you know, I tried every drug. And then I'm done with drugs now, and I'm glad, because fentanyl has ruined drugs for all time. And in some ways, it's like, oh, in my day, we had real drugs. And
Right.
I wouldn't encourage anyone to take it. And I pity the fool that wants to try it now. But the last drug that I ever wanted to try was DMT. And I tried it. And that was that, you know. So there's nothing on my so-called bucket list of drugs to try. And
But you had one story in particular that you wanted to tell.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have heard it. It's just that I went up to the hills and we picked a lot of mushrooms, and I took way too many. Unfortunately, most of my mushroom trips would start with getting a big strychnine feeling in my stomach and having to shit out everything in my body, which is not a good look, you know. And hallucinating on the bathroom floor, seeing these demons bubbling up out of the floor and stuff, and then my friends are running around having a great time, and I'm sitting there psychoanalyzing myself in the corner. And then, if I'm lucky, I finally figure out, you're okay, and then I can relax and listen to some music. But it makes you a stronger person doing that, you know. But one particular occasion, I hallucinated a cop outside the window, and he shot me in the head. And it was like in that movie Performance, when reality disappears through a hole, and from that point on, I thought I was dead. But I thought there was no heaven or hell. There was just this situation where I could do whatever I wanted. And for some reason, I chose to take off all my clothes and ripped up my ID and any money I had in my pocket. And then I decided my body was becoming invisible until I'd be in spirit form. And at that point, I decided to let a car pass through me to test whether it had happened. And this car came roaring up and stopped, you know, and I rolled up onto the hood of the car. The car didn't pass through me, which is surprising, considering my concept of, you know, my state of being at that stage. So then I ended up, it sounds like bullshit, but I was hanging on the hood of the roof of the car, and they were trying to shake me off, and they were skidding around, and it was an Italian family out for a Sunday afternoon drive, and they came to the main road and braked really fast, and then I slid down the window balls first in front of the whole family, and then I went off down the road, and there was all these villagers following me like Frankenstein, you know, like, hey, there's a naked guy doing shit up there. Let's see what he does, you know. And I went in this deli, and they said, get out. And I wiped everything off the counter. And then I went out, and then I went into this other store, and I got all these bowls and things and started throwing them at the cars in the street. It was like a little mini mall type thing. And all the villagers were outside watching me. It was like a gig, you know.
Where was this?
In Adelaide, in Australia. And then these cops came in, and they said, I was actually just putting on a pair of Ugg boots when they came in. Ugg boots are very fashionable now, but this is in 1979. My parents would never buy me any Ugg boots. I don't know even why I wanted them. But I was putting on some when the cops came in.
You were at your house at that point, or in the
No, I was in the store.
Oh, in the store.
Yeah.
Naked, right?
I used to have this kangaroo skin rug on my floor, which had a tail, and the owner told me to get out, so I picked up the kangaroo skin skug and I whipped her like this, and she ran out the store. And then I got these bowls, and I was throwing them at the cars, and then I put on some Ugg boots, and then these cops went in and said, stop that! And it's like, I said to the cops, at the time I used to call myself Troy Spasm. So I said, I'm Troy Spasm, I'm a rock star, and I'm dead. And so they handcuffed me, and they put me in the back of the car, and then they got on the radio, and they went, we've got Troy Spasm here, he's a rock star, over. They didn't mention that I was dead, but then when we got to the police station, I realized I wasn't dead, and I kind of wished I was.
Yeah.
So then they called my mother and said, we got your son here, he's on mushrooms. And she went, but must be some mistake, he doesn't like mushrooms. And and then my dad came out and picked me up, you know.
Did you have clothes?
Well, the cops went driving around looking for my clothes. It was very mystical because they were all in a line, like shoes, pants, shirt. Mysteriously, they couldn't find my underwear. Someone might have taken it as a souvenir, you know. Isn't that Troy Spasm, the rock star's underwear? I'm going to fucking sell this when they invent eBay in like 30 years.
He's going to play with the...
For all I know, someone's still got it, you know, waiting for 50 years when it'll be worth even more, but...
You sure you were wearing underwear?
No.
Okay.
So that was that one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Skeleton Boy, you've been so quiet, and yet your twinkling eyes have been sending me some kind of bat signals. Did you want to add to that story?
No, I'm just enjoying myself.
Did you want to tell any stories of being naked on the street, or?
No, thanks.
Okay.
He keeps it as a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he wipes his balls down the window of a family car,
Yeah.
The dead balls tell no tales.
Right. The cops fingerprint it. Or, I don't know. They keep
they
ball.
do.
I don't know if they keep ball prints on file.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, they can tell which of the ball hairs you used to flush
They
your
can
teeth.
get DNA off them as well.
That's true. The balls? Oh, yeah. That's a famous thing.
Ball DNA.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Speaking of ball DNA, listen. We've been talking about really soft stories, but the next thing is really hardcore that I'm about to ask you.
Yeah.
Married life.
Yeah.
You got married.
Yeah.
How is it?
I got married in a fever.
I haven't seen you actually since you got married.
No,
That was
if you were
really
still in town,
recently.
I would have invited you.
I know. And same for you, man. I got married too. We both put the prisoner's lock.
That's right.
That's the romantic way of saying it.
Yeah.
So
Wives love that.
so you didn't have to put any cinder blocks up in your basement and hold anyone there anymore. You can. This is a free. So do you like married
That's right.
life?
Where's that area anyway? Speaking of California, where those
where
Charles
did that-
NG and that other guy?
Yeah. Well,
Wilseyville it's called, I think.
Well, Humboldt had a serial killer.
Humboldt did have a serial killer. His
The one
name
that
was
took
Ford.
Yeah.
And he was the torso killer, and he was chopping women up and dumping their torsos around in like the swampy areas around. He lived in a trailer park nearby here, actually, and he went into the Arcata Police Department, and he went behind the glass, or he went in front of the glass where the offices were, and he knocked on the glass, and he said to the lady, he's like, I'm the torso killer. And
Right.
she's like, okay, sure, all right. And have a nice day, sir. And she went back to her desk.
And say,
And he
I'm the
goes,
torso
"No."
killer and the legs are still running around.
So he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a woman's breast and slaps it on
Really?
the thing. All of a sudden, 5-alarm fire, all the cops are coming around and they're like running like, "Oh!" And,
Gosh.
He joined the police force. He's out there right now. You might see him tonight.
Really?
We just had a serial killer near
Yeah, that's one way to get attention.
Ryan's old house.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
The
Oh, yeah.
fucking Gilgo Beach killer was like 4 blocks away from my parents' house, which is pretty interesting. Yeah.
70s are back.
Did you want to share anything along the lines of...
I didn't.
He's giving me strange looks now.
Yeah.
I'm
mean,
going to get...
serial
selfish.
killing's a bit passe, in the same
Yeah.
way as that fentanyl should stop people doing drugs.
It's like the first thing you do, right? I
Yeah,
mean, it's like you
cell
get over
phones
it.
and all that. It's like, that's why we have this song called "You Don't Want to Be Killed by an Idiot."
That's true.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your parents in the last story. What were your parents like? What were they into? Were they...
My father's a jazz musician. Yeah.
Can't you tell?
He's still rocking, or not rocking, but doing
Jazzing.
jazz.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's 87.
And is he in Australia or...
Yeah, Australia.
Cool.
But he's played with some cool cats.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna start the show off with a little Earl Bostic, but I got so distracted by our conversation.
My dad's actually on the end of the first Lubricated Goat album, because he'd been playing jazz since the 50s, but he wasn't on any albums. He was on like radio broadcasts, and he played with some notable people, you know, whenever they came to Adelaide where they live. He played with ROCK&ROLL and Kirk. Well, not played with him, but opened for him. And, you know, various people. I would get to go to these shows. But my heavy metal band, when I was 16, was practicing out the back of their house. And my dad came out and goes, "Stop that bloody row!" And I said, "We finished now." And he goes, "Thank Christ for that, if that's music. And don't smirk about it, or you can cut it out completely. That's just a bloody row." So I put that on the end of the first Lubricated Goat album.
My God. I thought you were gonna say he jumped on the sax or something, but
No.
no, he.
I mean, I would love to record him playing his stand-up bass and incorporate it into one of our songs.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've toyed with the idea.
Well, especially if he's still kicking. Is he still playing?
Oh,
music?
yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Let's try and do that, man.
Yeah,
I'd
that'd be great,
I'd
wouldn't
step
it?
aside for.
Yeah.
Wild. And so he only plays two strings on the bass.
No, he plays 4.
That's all right.
But he goes, "Why is this guy only got 2 strings?" It's like, so he can't go badunk, you know?
Preventive measures.
Bonk, dunk. No dunk, only bonk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So the last song that I played of you guys was a cover, "Life of Crime" by the Weirdos. And my question to you guys is that the only cover on the album?
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
What's the other one?
Night's Dance.
Oh, right, yeah. There's a song called Night's Dance. It's by Provkiev, a Russian composer. It's from the album of Romeo and Juliet. It's actually called Dance of the Nights on there. But I first saw it, or heard it, on the History Channel. I think it was in a documentary about Stalingrad that had elephant tanks in it.
Okay.
If you know about German tanks of World War II. Some impressive footage of elephant tanks and this great music going that went boom, boom, boom. It's like, that's fucking great. That's like, you know, everyone loves the Ride of the Valkyries.
Oh, 100%.
But Dance of the Nights is up there with the Ride of the Valkyries. Is one of
Okay.
the heaviest classical tracks.
You're
know?
really talking up this cover.
Yeah.
And boy, it seems like you've never met a Panzer you didn't like. So let's listen to this track.
All right. And then play the original, maybe. out of the, how many is that? 8 of us?
There's 7 right now.
All right, so probably 3 out of the 7 is staying at the hotel, and the rest will come with you.
Okay.
What is happening? I'm so confused.
We're trying to figure out the sleeping arrangements.
Well, Nikki, where are you going to stay? Nikki, who are you? Come introduce yourself.
I'm Nikki.
Okay.
I play saxophone.
You play saxophone. And so, were you on the album?
Yes.
Okay.
Not all of it, because I wasn't in the band 8 years ago.
Gotcha.
The band lineup is rather a controversial subject in itself.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll elaborate on that.
Go for it.
I don't know if I should say the fellow's name. In fact, well, we had this guy in our band who thought there was no point in having attractive female friends on Facebook if you couldn't, send them hello, shall we say? A pictorial hello. Nice to, would you like to become better friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
And so now there's a whole page on Instagram dedicated to surviving his hellos, his greetings. It's like, yes. That's not really the way you greet a person, especially if you haven't even met them.
Right.
Am I being too vague?
Well, I always thought, personally, that it kind of gives away the surprise.
It does, yeah.
Like, if you're really interested in someone and you have chemistry and one thing leads to another, you go on a date, everything clicks, and you end up doing something intimate. Like, it's kind of a nice surprise that...
Well, he likes to cut to the chase, shall we say.
Yeah, I got you. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Yeah. So no one in my band's allowed to do that. And I'm glad he quit the band of his own accord, because I would have had to throw the book at him. This shit's not on!
Yeah. So so you talk more about your lineup and how it's changed since the beginning.
We have Grace Bergere playing guitar now. Our other guitar player, Andrea, he broke up with us via text.
Email.
Oh, really?
Well, it was actually an email, but...
Yeah, wonderful guy.
But no,
Yeah,
we love
has-
him,
he has a lot
and
going
he'll...
on.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
understandable, so it's no hard feelings.
Well, but also him departing, that's a good set of eyebrows that you guys do lose.
He was great, and
Well, the other guy had no eyebrows, so.
Oh, for real?
yeah,
Yeah.
we shaved
Okay.
him off. Yeah.
Okay.
Gary's got a great line of masks that he's just sculpting and
Oh,
making himself recently, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chico's
I like how as soon as Skeleton Boy gets away from the microphone, he has so much to say.
Yeah.
He's just really comfortable over there.
Yeah,
We love Andrea, and he's welcome to jam with us anytime,
Yeah. fantastic.
Cool. So you're happy with the lineup? It feels strong. You
Yeah,
guys have been
Grace is
performing.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And,
And you guys just came. So last night you guys played Portland,
yeah,
and then tomorrow you're gonna play San Francisco.
yeah.
And what gig? So how many gigs have you already? Tell me how.
We've played
about the-
Seattle and Portland so far.
Okay.
Olympia.
And our show the other day in Portland was like an apology to Portland. They were noticeably absent from the tour roster last time, because the first time we played in Portland, a couple of the members of our band missed the flight because an app adjusted itself to where we had the app set so that it was always a van Uber that could take all of us. And we were going to the airport in LA, and a small Uber showed up. We couldn't fit everyone in it. So then we said, no, that's no good. Send a proper sized Uber. And when we got to the airport, only me and Ryan got the flight, and the others were stuck at LA airport all day long trying to get to Portland. So it's like, well, 2 of us are here. We should probably play. And then we were ringing around trying to get a drummer that could play with us at short notice, and our songs are not very straightforward. Our friend Steve Turner from Mudhoney recommended this guy, and all we could do as far as rehearsal was playing the songs like 3 or 4 times each. Have you got it? You think you can do that? And he's like, yeah, I think I got it. And then we... Have you ever seen the movie Bedazzled?
Sure.
You know, when the guy wants out of the situation, he just goes... and he's gone, you know. That's what I wanted to do. We tried to play a couple of songs, and it was disastrous. And I wish I could have gone, and we were gone, because all these people showed up. And so as far as we knew, the word in Portland was that we sucked. And
that's rough. I actually heard that here.
You heard that we sucked in Portland?
From Portland, yeah.
Yeah.
From Portland.
Oh, that's so...
The word gets around.
Yeah,
that's actually
terrible.
why we couldn't book a show here, because they were like... I don't
know about those guys. They sucked in Portland.
They're not bringing... Are they bringing the eyebrows? And I said, they're not really bringing as many eyebrows. And they said, nah, man.
No.
If you're not bringing the eyebrows and the crazy latex masks and the
well,
the
I
accent,
hate to hear confirmation of it, because it's...
They said, how many accents are you bringing in the band? And I said, only like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
The Italian one is not coming.
That's right.
So speaking of...
Well, our songs don't go like this, you know, they're very complex.
How do they go?
They go... and they go like... you know, and they do etc. So
Yeah.
How about another
you
one?
couldn't just do it with a drum machine. What's another clever one? Try doing that after 3 listens.
So speaking of
They're pretty
disaster,
tricky.
can you tell me some tales of the infamous Gracelands residence in Sydney?
Yeah, I could. Well, you going deep here.
Is it how is that close to the story we just heard about Portland? Or
Oh, is this the place where you had the roommate that thought she was pregnant by a
Oh,
ghost?
right, yeah. I mean, I lived in this 3-story
My other
townhouse.
favorite story.
It depends how deep you want to go, you know.
let's get into it. We got a whole hour, bro.
All right. Well, these kind of junky hippies got this place, and I gradually socially maneuvered until I had the run of the place and got my friends to move in. But this one girl that moved in was in love with this other guy that moved in, who would rather she had not moved in. And there was 3 floors, and each one had a fireplace, and you could talk down the fireplaces, and you could hear them. And there was a few animals there. There was a one-eyed rat called Ratty, who someone brought from somewhere else. And one time this guy was awoken by the rat nibbling on his scrotum. And the day got worse from there on in. And this other girl had some birds in her apartment. And funnily enough, my girlfriend found a rooster at a nightclub and put it under her coat and had it in the backyard. And then this other girl... and so, anyway, this girl that was living there, there was supposedly an old man that fell down the stairs called Mr. Carter. Some people claim they could see the ghost of Mr. Carter. I never saw him. But this girl that was in love with this guy started sacrificing all these animals. And she would be in the backyard going, "Crow, rooster, crow," like this. And she sacrificed all these animals to make this guy love her. And... one night we were having this party, and she was having sex with the guy in this room, and our friends were standing around the bed naked with saxophones serenading her. And she thought that the ghost of Mr. Carter had appeared and was ejaculating over her, and she was going to give birth to Mr. Carter and his wife. So, if that makes any sense.
I'm following.
That's just you know...
Is that when they locked her
Yeah.
up?
He told us this story.
And then,
so
one
Uber
night,
driver was like, "What the fuck?"
So one day we were making some curry, you know, and her sister came over with her medication that she was off at the time. We put tons of this medication in this curry, and then she came in and like naked, and I mean I don't know how far I should go. It's getting a bit dirty.
Oh, come on.
This is the
All right, so she came into the guy's room,
Get worse.
and she was naked, and she was going, "I've got my finger in my cunt." And then we ended up locking her in her room naked and waiting for the men with the white coats to come. And then as they pulled her out and carried her down the stairs naked, she was going, my babies, like this. And anyway, she never did give birth to or rebirth to Mr. Carter and his wife. And it all ended up right in the end. That's all I can say about that. So it's got a happy ending, right? Or was it would be a happy ending if Mr. Carter and his wife were reborn in the 80s, having died quite some time before?
Well, we're going to cut to commercial.
You fucking got more than you wanted out of that one, didn't you? Fucking bit off more.
No, finish.
Okay, go ahead.
I bet you hadn't asked that. Wish you hadn't asked that question. Sorry.
Donors to Humboldt Hot Air include Finnish Country Sauna and Tubs at 5th and J Streets in Arcata, featuring outdoor tubs and saunas, along with fresh pastries and European coffees. They're open every day from 11 to 11, except Friday and Saturdays when they close at midnight. Reservations can be made up to 1 day in advance. That's Finnish Country Hot Tubs and Saunas, a peaceful frog pond in an enchanted forest.
4 honorable men.
There you go.
And Johnny Boy.
Here's Johnny
So, ladies
don't
and gentlemen,
technically
we
own
are
phone.
back. You have been listening to the Woolly Bully Bill Rock and Roll Power Hour. This is Woolly Bully Bill sitting here with the most New York band that has ever been in this room in the last hour, the Art Gray NOIZZ Quintet. But we were also talking about your art and your practice, and it was kind of on the tail end of talking about this crazy building, right? So
Yeah.
you were telling me that the building, there was also a brothel that ended up being run by bikers.
This
I
is
mean,
way after I left. I read about it, yeah. And it's terrible that happened. We even used to have the Sydney branch of the OTO there performing rituals and stuff like that. The rites of Eleusius. I don't know if you know about that kind of thing.
That
but-
was you? You were part of that?
No, but I was kind of... I mean, I've never kind of like adhered to one spiritual path, but I was closer to that one than most others, you know, so I would attend. But
I was curious about that organization because as a kid, you know, I was raised Satanist, the Anton LaVey
really?
Church of Satan, and so I was really curious about the, you know, Crowleyites and stuff, and
Yeah.
I met quite a few, and especially being around here. I mean, California is like the cult. You know, there's a lot of cults out here because there's a lot of people, you know, who are airheads, and anyways, and doing yoga and shit. So and standing on their head and doing 69s. So so I met this one guy, you know, in his practice space, actually not too far from here, and he said, "Oh yeah, OTO." He's like, you know, we had to do some interesting things to get into the OTO.
Yeah.
And he said, I've read every single book that I could get my hands on, including the Secret Papers by Aleister Crowley. And he said, but one thing that I read that he wrote totally got me out of it as soon as physically possible. And I said, what was it that you read? And he said, well, there's all this deep text about sex magic and all these complicated things that you kind of have to have like a glossary of words in order to like decode.
Yeah.
And then there's a break in the page. And Crowley writes, everything that I've written up until this point and everything after this point is bullshit. And then the text continues. And he said, how in the hell am I supposed to swallow that pill if literally you've just told me, you know, the cape has been lifted, the fucking man behind the curtain is bullshit, which, we know, which is his humor, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. So that never... As soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, noted. I got it.
Right, well, that goes doubly for L. Ron Hubbard.
Right, which we can't mention on air because this is actually owned by...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Those
I can't
people.
say. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they exposed themselves in a Facebook message, and now we can't talk about them.
Right, okay.
So tell me more about this sperm that you have.
Well, basically, there was a big back garden to that house, and hey, it's not as bad as it sounds. Just relax.
Yeah, it's automobile related.
We were making I worked as with these these people that did animation, right? And they had to build a giant sperm, which was made out of a Mazda or some kind of like sperm head-shaped Japanese car. And they made a 16-foot tail for it. They covered the car in chicken wire to make it more spermish, and then they covered that in like, you know, paper and paper mache and all this sort of thing, and made like I said, a 16-foot tail because our backyard could accommodate it. And then they had a throne on the back for this woman called Mercury, who was a stripper with big breast implants. And they were going to, you know, the Sydney Harbour Bridge looks like a pair of labia, like this. So they were going to drive it across the Sydney Harbour. They were going to drive it across the Sydney Harbour Bridge in a simulated act of procreation. But the Sydney Council denied them permission. So they found a bridge that was like a smaller version of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, Although technically these things are not in proportion, even if they use the real bridge, because as we all know, sperms are microscopic.
Right.
So the scale that you would have had to make the actual sperm on would have been far beyond even the size of a toy car. But nevertheless, they did make a video of this song, and they drove it across the labyrinth precincts of this other bridge. And Mercury sat on the back of the 16-foot sperm on the back of the car, and they drove it across in a simulated act of procreation, and they all patted themselves on the back for a job well done.
So the point of the story is that this was all permitted, except for they couldn't get a permit for the bridge, one of the bridges that they want, but everything else was fine.
Yeah, I mean, they did the simulated act of procreation. Luckily, they didn't have to get a giant penis to ejaculate the sperm.
That would be a lot of work. That would be a giant penis. Didn't you say it was microscopic before?
Yeah, if you consider the proportions of the various parts involved in the video, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
So how'd the video turn out?
Pretty good, as I understand. I'd never actually seen the whole thing. I can't even remember what band it was for. Oh, it was for this band called Mental as Anything. So these guys that I used to do these videos for made these kind of pixelated videos. I'd make these kind of paper puppets that bend at the wrist, the elbow, the arm, and all this kind of stuff. And once they were working on this 15-minute video for UNICEF, the United Nations Child Fund, and I did all these people for this, this video, but they I don't know whatever happened to that, but they used them for this other video that's on YouTube. Some of my paper puppets.
So you've been making puppets and sculptures for a really long time.
Well, they were puppets, but whenever anyone calls my sculptures puppets, it roils me. But
so talk more about your sculpture. So when did you start? When did you start doing that?
Well, I've always kind of made those kind of things, just because I wasn't making enough money as a musician. But it was never really and it still isn't a money-making thing. But people commissioned sculptures off me. In fact, that's how I met my wife. She commissioned a sculpture of Captain Beefheart.
Kept the artist.
Yeah, and I went down. I always, when I meet people to present the sculptures to them, I usually do it in a public place so someone else will see it and go, "Oh, could you make me such and such a thing?" And that's happened time and time again. So anyway, I took the Captain Beefheart sculpture down for her. I only vaguely knew who she was. She had friended me on Facebook, and I saw a picture of her, and I was like, "Oh, she looks all right," So I took her down to the Captain Beefheart sculpture, and then we met, and it was like boing,
That was your boner?
Literally love at first sight. Yeah, boing,
Yeah.
It was kind of like swing.
Yeah, we were actually.
The expression swing is a bit
I was
passé,
on my
so
way to
I like to
rehearsal.
say boing. Yeah.
I was on my way to rehearsal walking, and then Stu's just like, "Yeah, I met a friend to give them a sculpture, and I think I'm not going to make it." And we were like, "Oh, man." Like,
and I was like, "Is
whatever.
she cute?" And he blushed.
I'm
And
not
he
going to
just,
make it
like,
to band
wouldn't answer.
practice.
And then the next rehearsal, I remember you were sitting at the counter and you said something, my girlfriend. And I was like, "Wait, what happened? You have a girlfriend?" He was like, "Oh, yeah, sorry. That's why I canceled rehearsal."
Yeah. So that was a quick
now,
pickup.
yeah. And now they're married.
The rest, as they say, is history.
So my wife, who is right here, Rochelle.
What's your love story?
Well, we had a similar. So we went on a date.
A day date. He
a
asked
day
me on a
date.
day date.
Don't tell me you met online, though, right?
Or lucky.
Where'd
we
you
did.
go?
What's that?
We did meet online.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
no judgment.
Okay, Cupid. Well,
However,
you technically met
we were
online.
in the same circles, and but we would always be missing each other. We went on a day date to ROCK&ROLL.
A day date.
Oh,
thing,
wow.
Yeah. Oh, the movie Rock-and-Roller?
No, the
No,
bar
the bar.
Rock-and-Roller.
Where's
In
that?
Williamsburg.
Williamsburg.
Pool.
I'm sure you've been.
Yeah,
there.
by Kellogg's.
Yeah.
On the same
Oh, yeah, I
road.
know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. And then she didn't leave for 3 days.
All right, say
That's
no
like
Yeah,
more.
that
first
sounds
Well, he
like.
told me
yeah.
Say
he
no
left me on
more.
our first date, and I was like, yeah, you do.
I guess when it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
And then the first time I met Skeleton Boy, he just goes, "Hey, Skeleton Boy, come meet the woman I'm gonna marry." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And this was like 2 weeks into us dating. And he was like, "You're gonna come to our wedding." And I was like, "The fuck? Okay." All right.
And then April 420, he did come. He was my best man at my wedding.
All right. Where'd you get married at?
Here, just at a place.
Yeah.
You came out here for the marriage?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Got married on Hitler's birthday.
420.
Yeah,
bro.
I always
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that. Like, what do you mean Hitler's birthday? No marijuana.
420,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Why are you getting married on a Wednesday?" I'm like, well, it's because it's 420, bro.
Yeah.
And also, we can't remember shit, so.
Yeah, but we always remember
They're
Hitler.
like 18.
How can you forget Hitler?
18, motherfucker.
All right, put your arm down. So, so speaking of, yes, put it down. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, we've been talking about really lame stories, and everything sucks, and it's really been boring. Can you tell me an exciting story about how you were a roadie for the birthday party in Australia?
Yeah, well, when I lived in Melbourne in like 1981, 82, I used to do a lot of speed and sell speed.
That's what dealing is.
And so basically, I used to, when the birthday party played, I would get paid like $40 in. I can't remember if it was $40 in and $40 out or just a straight $40, but, I would load the shit in and hang out with the band and do speed. We're all doing a lot of speed all the time, and then I would load it out the next day generally. And I can't say that I was their roadie that did it all the time. I just did it whenever they played around Melbourne during that period, which is like maybe on like 4 or 5 times, And I would like also hang out and be security backstage or whatever just to stop people getting in. You didn't have to be tough to do it. It's just like keep people out. And I also used to do it for generally shows that this one promoter used to put on. Like I did it for John Cale, I did it for the Violent Femmes, I did it for this band called the Laughing Clowns, and yeah.
Cool. Any particular nights that you remember?
Well, there was the one where Tracy Pugh was in jail, and this guy Chris Walsh was filling in. And he was good friends with me, and he was telling me stuff about him. There was this guy there called Stezo from the planet Krakatoa. He claimed to be from the planet Krakatoa. He had written a book translating Krakatorian into English.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, he passed Nick Cave a note saying, if I had a band, I wouldn't have any fat people in it, which referred to Tracy Pugh.
What are some of your?
And also, one time we were practicing at my house, and Stezo walked in and was just telling us how much he loved our band. What's that?
What are some of your rules for us? Your band.
I have lots of rules, you know. I mean,
tell
everyone knows about the big shorts rule.
Repeat it.
Well, that's because people used to wear such ridiculously huge shorts. In Australia, people wear ridiculously small shorts. So although I have the big shorts rule in America, in Australia I would have the small shorts rule. But I mean, that's more about me than the band, because, when I used to go to school, I'd be the only kid in the school or the class or whatever with shorts on in the middle of winter, and I'd be standing there freezing like this. And it's because my parents didn't think it was cold enough. And they're like, well, in my day, we had to wear shorts, and it was the middle of winter, and bombs were dropping, you know.
Whoa.
Because they grew up in World War II, so...
But they were short-centric.
Well, you know, they made me wear shorts, and because they had to fucking wear shorts in the winter with bombs dropping and all this, so I blame Hitler for me having to wear shorts.
Makes sense.
Ultimately, Hitler's responsible for the whole no shorts ban in...
Oh, that's one good thing he did.
The whole new no shorts thing in the band, you know, so don't blame me, you can't wear it. Blame Hitler.
No shorts.
Yeah.
And what are some
whatever my problems were, they were worse in their day because of Hitler.
Right. What other is there any other Hitler related rules about the band? No mustaches.
Not Hitler related per se, but
There was a facial hair thing for a while, wasn't there?
oh, I didn't used to have people in my band with beards, but that's because people with beards and moustaches in the 80s look fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of look like cops or something, you know.
Yeah.
But then
I can see that.
You know, in the recent years, they've had the whole gay lumberjack look and all that kind of stuff, which is a hipster thing.
Right.
That's very big here.
I would prefer not to have the gay lumberjack look pregnant. I don't actually have anything against gay lumberjacks,
Right.
but...
Well, we were sword fighting in the parking lot just like a half hour ago.
And, of course, needless to say, there's a no Crocs rule. It goes without saying,
Right.
really.
It's a hazard on stage.
You can wear what you want if you go into some place where you're likely to get your shoes waterlogged. But
Visual birth control.
what's that?
Visual birth control.
In my band?
No, Crocs.
Visual birth control. You see?
Right, yeah. I
Glasses
mean,
by
yeah.
birth control.
Well, that's like these glasses that Nikki had. They were like her birth control glasses. Remember?
No, I have them with me right now. They're yellow and round, and we're at rehearsal one day. He's like, "Oh, I like your birth control," and I was like, I was laughing because it was really funny, but I was also like, "That's mean."
I mean, at least you'll say it to her face.
I got it from Steve Martin, really, you know. But yeah, there's other rules as well. I sometimes come up with them as they go along. I can't even remember what they are.
The scooter thing.
Oh yeah, no one's allowed to ride one of them. I mean, you could have a motorized scooter, but no one's allowed to ride one of those scooters where you have to go like this, like a 3-year-old.
Embarrassing.
You know?
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had a metal band when you were a teenager.
Well, it was before the term heavy metal was invented. It was kind of a heavy rock band. One time I was listening to Black Sabbath. My dad came home from work and he says, "You like the heavy stuff, do you?" But he would also sometimes go, "You listen to that rock shit." And yeah, we used to have a band and we used to do like Rocky Mountain Way, Good Lovin' Gone Bad by Bad Company, All Right Now, of course. Mm-hmm. The Jeff Beck version of Superstition. You know that one?
Mm-hmm.
Which Stevie Wonder supposedly wrote the song for Jeff Beck. We did the heavy version of Superstition. We did like Whole Lot of Love and, you know, White Room, all that kind of thing.
So you saw the rise of the glam era and all that, kind of ruining the posers.
Yeah. I won a transistor radio in the Boy Scouts when I was 11, and when I won it, there was so much great stuff on the radio. There was like T-Rex and David Bowie and Sweet and Gary Glitter and Slade and all that, you know.
It's still on the radio. It
What's
just depends on the channel. It's still out there.
They had good stuff on there. And then, like, you know, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Status Quo. I used to write lists of the bands that I liked. I put all the ones I just mentioned at the top, and at the bottom I'd put, like, the Osmonds and whatever came up in between.
Nancy Sinatra.
No, I loved Nancy Sinatra. In fact, you know, these boots are made for walking came out when I was, like, about 5 years old. It used to scare me.
Oh God, my ear! Is this? Are you
What
hearing
happened?
this too?
What happened?
Did you hear that?
No.
It was like an electric shock.
Really?
Yeah, it was from the words that you like Nancy Sinatra. That she said.
What, you don't like
Are you
Nancy?
fucking
You
kidding
don't
me?
like Nancy
These
Sinatra?
boots are made for walking. So corny, bro.
I loved Nancy Sinatra. Stay Away from Lightning's Girl.
Yeah, okay.
Bang Bang.
Another corny.
All the fucking Lee
overplayed.
Hazelwood songs.
Oh, the Lee Hazelwood stuff is passable.
I love Nancy Sinatra.
But that's because she has a crutch. The Hazelwood, both.
Well, Lee Hazelwood, yeah, I love Lee Hazelwood. But even Nancy's solo songs, some of them are great. I can't believe you don't like Those Boots Made for Walking.
Ish Mathis did. But
Right. But we were listening to Frank Sinatra's Songs for Swinging Lovers in the band. I love
Okay.
that.
All right.
It's got some drug songs on it, you know?
What are some other bands that you don't like?
That I don't like? Oh, you would. I mean, the bands that I do like, I really love, and the bands that I don't like, I fucking don't like. What's the band that I don't like?
You make fun of shit all the time.
John Mayer. Your body is a wonderland.
Oh yeah, me and Grace were listening to The Stroke because that's a great song.
Well, The
And
Stroke.
y'all were making fun of it.
Well, yeah,
There's
it's like a
only one
Led
Stroke?
Zeppelin impersonator or something. You know?
Okay.
I mean, men don't go to see Billy Squier by themselves. They go because they go with their girlfriend. But it's not even fair to discuss it.
That's binary.
True. Yeah, this has been a really binary conversation.
Yeah,
But at least you're saying it to my face.
that's right.
Wooly Bully Bill's Rock and Roll Power Hour. This is Wooly Bully Bill, and if you're just tuning in, we are speaking with the luxurious Art Gray NOIZZ Quintet. They're all here, all 16 of them. How long have you been a 16-piece calling yourself a quintet? How much is a quintet? What is that?
I generally think people are so fucking stupid they don't know what the fucking quintet or a septet is or anything, you know.
Well, I'm literally that person because I just said
we played
that.
as 3, 4, 5, and 6-piece band as the quintet.
But because it's kind of implies that it's a jazz band, the potential is there to swap out members if you needed to, you know.
I got you. So everyone's potentially disposable.
Yeah.
Okay, that's if they don't follow the shorts rule, the scooter rule, and the Crocs rule.
Well, yeah, the rules.
Baseball cap rule.
More than the musical.
There was a facial hair rule,
but I generally regard, trust them on being kind of stylish. Rich is always in it. Ryan's always in it. That's Nikki, of course. Yeah. Well, I gotta fucking say everybody now, right?
I wear big shorts.
Ah, you're all in it. Is that okay? Nikki fucking is always going, I got these shorts on, is that okay? And I'm like, it's fine, all right. So.
I do sometimes under a dress.
Well, the rules are
there's
different
like a
for
fan
girls.
blowing my dress up. I'm like,
the rules are different for girls.
My pants.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit different for girls.
So I have a question for you about that last song.
Yeah.
Who is she, and what wouldn't she say to your face?
I mean, I've never written a love song in my life, but in a way, that's kind of about. Even though I'd written the music years before, I guess it's technically could be about my first wife. Kat, she went back to Minneapolis, and they didn't have text in those days, but she didn't do it in person, so you could say that. The funny thing is, she used to write songs about all their, a lot of these girls write all these songs about their ex-boyfriends. Apparently, Taylor Swift says all these songs about her ex-boyfriend. You can relate to that, but so I'm a little bit like Taylor Swift.
Right.
In that I'm really attractive and
yeah.
That's about.
She won't text it
Do
to
you
your face.
also donate $1 million to everyone in your band? Because that's what she just did.
If I had it, I was just saying it because we're playing in Las Vegas we're playing in Las Vegas the last show, and I said if I win $10,000 in Las Vegas, I'll give everyone in the band $1,000.
That's incredible.
And if I win $1 million, I'll give everyone in the band $10,000. Whatever it is, because they're really going out on a limb to make this happen. I wish we were in the real rock scene where we could make a lot of money. That's why I'm always going. Led Zeppelin wouldn't fucking stay at this place. Like this possibly bed-bug-ridden Motel 6 that I literally checked the mattress. It's like, I can't see fucking Led Zeppelin staying at this place.
Yeah, you didn't.
That's the gauge,
Yeah, you didn't see any bed bugs, did you?
No, but it doesn't mean they weren't hiding.
I looked.
Nope, we took our glasses off.
The first thing I did was thought, I'm not itching, am I?
Well, because you're staying at my house tonight.
You were.
Yeah, that's true.
Burn it down.
This episode brought to you by the Arcada Hotel. The Arcada Hotel. The place where these assholes are staying tonight.
Is that known buggery?
Would you rather have bed bugs, or would you rather be killed by an idiot?
You don't want to be killed by an idiot.
give them how long they take a human body, you think? If you have your own.
So, Stu, do you want to be cremated?
Yeah. I've actually got a few songs about my demise.
Okay, then look at those.
I have one called Bad Times. It goes, and so they covered me in blood and threw me into shark-infested waters. Schools of mermaids gathered around, and then together we were slaughtered. And I've got the second verse goes, I told them I'll take the electric chair, but please don't get me up too early. Smell my cock and balls are burning, my pubic hair uncurling. And then the third verse goes, and I said, fly me around the moon and let me play among the stars in orbit. Through the wormholes, and as I'm flying, I'll be spaghettifying. You know about that? As you go through a wormhole, you spaghettify, and then your body reconstitutes itself on the other side of the wormhole.
Interesting.
Yeah. But the first part of it is like, fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. In orbit through the wormholes as I'm flying, I'll be spaghettifying. And then it goes,
So
bad times, die for your pleasure. Bad times, it's forever. It don't matter if you got no soul. Come on, baby, let the bad times roll. So there you go. But then I got another one that goes, I know people are starving. You asked me to donate. I'd like to oblige you if it's not too late. My dead but tender body for dining shall be fit to send to Kampuchea for a funeral on a spit. So there you go.
Go on.
These are like long ago prophecies, countries that don't even exist anymore, you know. It goes, what's the next line? I'm trying to remember. Oh, it doesn't matter.
How did you meet Skeleton Boy?
At the Mars Bar, I think.
Yeah, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
He was a young fellow with kind of Sid Vicious type hair, as I recall.
R.I.P.
If you haven't seen Skeleton Boy, he's it looks like his hair exploded, and then, but that was a while ago.
You can see a
Now
photo
it's just
in Bob
relaxing.
Bert's book.
Who's
Bob
book?
Bert's book.
Bob Bert's book.
I'm just a drummer.
Oh, that's
BBB.
cool.
Picture of him at Max Fish, right?
Yeah, Max Fish.
That's what I thought it looked like.
Probably worked on too.
Max Fish.
Yeah.
And so, what about? Do you have any other interesting tales of meeting your band members?
Well, I met Rich at the Mars Bar as well, I think.
Yeah.
With Ian Potts.
This friend of mine called Ian Potts, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ian Potts, really wanted to be a rock star. And when I'd let him open for me at CBGB sometimes, he'd make such a fool of himself. Once this guy filmed him for a public access show. This guy called Manny Manhattan. I think his show was on some cable access show. And he went to this bar, the one with Kiss out the front. What was it called? I should be able to remember it. Anyway, there was this place that had a mural of Kiss on the wall. It was on the corner of Avenue A and Houston.
Yeah, we're first at Houston.
And he was in there one night, and he goes, I'm going to be on TV soon. And they put the TV on the channel that he was going to be on, like Channel 38 or whatever, Manhattan Cable or something like that. Nice Guy Eddie's. Yeah. And these two Puerto Rican girls came up to him, and they go, wow, that's so cool, you're going to be on TV. And they started, putting their hands all over him and stuff like this. And one of them took him to the bathroom, and, they were putting their hands through his pockets and all this sort of shit. And the other one disappeared. He's like, it's funny because Puerto Rican girls nearly found me that attractive. He's an English guy, kind of chubby. And then when he finally left, I don't know if his fucking video of his gig came on or whatever. Probably did. And he watched it. It's like, wasn't I great? And when you gave him a gig, he'd roll around on the ground and do all this shit. And he had these shitty fucking guys, a crack team of musicians that he met at the Mars Bar. And anyway, he was walking up the street, and these cops came up, and they said, check your pockets. Have you got your keys? He didn't have his keys. You got your money or whatever? Turns out why he was being solicited by this girl in the bathroom, the other one, because he actually lived like near the corner of First Avenue and First Street and Second Avenue, and there was this place called Boca Chica that was in a line going back this way. It was on the corner of like Houston Street and First Avenue, and then he was in Nice Guy Eddie's. So there was in a direct line. It's like, oh yeah, I know where you live. There's Boca Chica and then Second Avenue like this. So the other one figured it out, and she got his keys, and she went up to his house, and then she started going through the building trying to find his apartment. But luckily there was a courtyard out the back, and he lived in the back apartment. And she was trying to find his apartment so she could rob him or whatever. The cops suggested that she may have even killed his girlfriend who was sleeping there at the time. And apparently there was a male part of the gang that did the same thing elsewhere with girls or something like that. Although it sounds a bit far-fetched to think that, you know, these guys would be able to grope these women and get their keys off them. But he was a total fucking sucker for it. And that's lucky those cops came along, because he could have came home to find his girlfriend dead, and you know, so but they just couldn't figure out that the fact that he lived in the back apartment and not the front one, because they went through all the apartments. I don't know if they went to all the doors, including the one upstairs where the cowboy from the Village People lived, Randy. Randy's a nice guy. I've met him a couple of times, but he's a big guy. I think he could afford him off.
So you formed a band with him.
He might have even had his gun there. Yeah.
And that's how Art Gray Noise Quintet was
That's how I met
started.
Rich.
Oh, I forgot how we started on that.
Yeah.
That's Mars Bar, and then...
So much digression, right?
So you got robbed, and then
so
the
that
girl...
band didn't last. For some strange reason, that band didn't last.
Yeah.
But then you reformed Lubricated Goat, and he called me.
Yeah. Well, I had a band with my ex-girlfriend at one point before that was called Love Struck, and it evolved until it was the Love Goat. And, like the Love Boat, the Love Goat. So it was the Love Goat, the Love Boat, the Love Goat.
Yeah.
And
then, Nikki we found, because the former fifth member had his own band that I joined, which had Nikki and Nick in it. And Nick's now moved back to Sweden. But that band was falling apart, and Stu always wanted horns. I was like, voila.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you've been listening to Wooly Bully Bill's Rock and Roll Power Hour, and we are about to wrap up on the very last bit of our incredible interview with the Art Gray Noise Quintet.
Then we get paid, right?
Is you get paid at the next gig tomorrow, right?
If that doesn't make you want to come to the show, you can just fuck off.
So you're going to be in San Francisco, and then what are the other dates that you're coming up with?
Then L.A. on Sunday at Zebulon.
Okay.
Yep.
Then San Pedro on Monday at
Sardine.
Yep. Then San Diego on Tuesday. Soda Bar. Then Phoenix on Wednesday.
Trunk Space.
Then Las Vegas.
You just playing the strip?
Yeah, then we die.
Yeah.
Do you even know the name of that place?
Artifice.
Artifice. Okay.
Artifice. There you go.
And if you're lucky, I will strip on the strip.
But if you do,
say no more.
But if you do, they might
leave.
Call all cars.